Welcome to the earthvox podcast. The earthvox podcast. earthvox podcast.
Well, hello. Thank you very much for joining me. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the show. It's a live stream Sunday, 11 a.m. every Sunday. I don't know. I don't like how abruptly that music ended. I felt earlier in the week or earlier in the month like it ended, like it ran too long. Now, of course, I feel like it's ended too soon. Please take a moment as you enjoy this show to click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Most importantly, yes, that's right. Click the share button. Because holy Lord, do I have to do, see, I don't like doing the thing. I notice, I go through, I look at my analytics, I try to do my due diligence as a content creator and try to figure out just, how to do my job better. And I notice, of course, that the videos with the buzzwords that I create independently to upload, a 1 minute, a 2 minute snippet, those videos do very well when I talk about pertinent topical issues that are getting a lot of attention. My problem is I don't want to talk about those things sometimes. And I notice my other videos that just have random, I try, I make an effort and create an engaging title. Something that's gonna, that someone may be searching for that may interest them. Doesn't matter. If it's not about Alex Preddy, if it's not about Renee Good, if it's not about ICE, if it's not about Donald Trump, nothing. So I rely on you. Share the show. Go to my YouTube. No, you know what? Don't go to my YouTube. Go to Rumble. Go to my Rumble channel, the earthvox podcast, and like some of those videos. Better yet, leave a comment on them. And best of all, share them to somebody that you appreciate. Hey, check it out. I just found this crazy old guy on the internet. Hopefully you say he's funny and he's entertaining. And you should also share this video to some of your friends, because that's the only way this is getting off the ground. I'm doing all I can do for the most part. I'm always searching for new and exciting ways to promote the show. But when you have, I feel like this whole SEO, impressions, algorithms thing, it just serves to control we content creators and force us to talk about the things that ultimately the mainstream media wants us to talk about, right? They're the ones that choose which stories are sensational. Kind of like they decide which songs are top 10 hits and what movies are blockbusters. And even I wonder sometimes, like, how do some of these buzzwords, the new slang, how does it make its way out into popular culture? Well, somebody's responsible. Somebody coins these terms. Somebody comes up with the new joke, the new meme, and it explodes into relevance to become, iconically cultural. Bro, is my stream really called the same? Good Lord. Never mind. Never mind. I go through and rename my streams. And what do I see? Oh, the same name as last week. That's wonderful. This is why I send you to Rumble. And I know I keep saying that I'm going to do it. It's hard because there's like this weird sort of cultural justification, I think. Not only do you have to be a video podcast to increase your visibility, but you also have to go on YouTube. You got to be on Twitch. You got to bow. I mean, like, where does that come from? You got to bow to the corporate overlords so that you can be successful. Because if you don't, then they're just going to suppress you or ban you, demonetize you. Because you will be forced. You will be forced to talk about the things that have been ordained as the popular topics to discuss. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to talk about. How about the Super Bowl? Hey, that was boring. I mean, it was cool. It was cool that the Seahawks won. Washington State gets its clout, I suppose. The spread was 4.5 points. Seattle ended up taking it 29-13 in a game that was mostly field goals the whole time. I still enjoyed the things that I enjoy. The other people around me that are exciting. But that's over now. 350 some odd more days till Super Bowl 61. The TPUSA halftime show, parallel halftime show that they developed because conservatives and Christians and patriots alike were upset at the NFL's choice for halftime performers. And rightfully so. I think most of the people, I mean, we all want to talk about numbers, right? Oh, well, it did this many tens of millions of people watched the Super Bowl halftime show, and this many tens of millions of people watched the Rumble halftime show or the TPUSA halftime show. I'm pulling it up on Rumble to see what the numbers are today because, of course, once it goes online, it can be viewed and reviewed. And Rumble's search engine just kind of sucks. I don't know why TPUSA halftime show doesn't pull up the halftime show, but it doesn't. I mean, they're talking like 30 million viewers. The TPUSA halftime show had because we didn't want to do Bad Bunny. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's like an American holiday now, right? Super Bowl Sunday. It's just so obviously like professional, like scripted professional wrestling. I don't know why it is as popular. I think it's because it became so popular when we all believed that it was good competition. Good, honest, athletic competition. We all tuned in to see the best of the best fight it out in the last game of the year, and that's exciting. Then it was slowly exposed over the last 10 years or so to be popularity contests. I know I talked about this last week. But now they've already got their spot. Now they've got the market share. How beautifully corporate. Now it's a part of the culture. Now it's a national holiday. Now it doesn't really matter if we all know that it's rigged and scripted and orchestrated. Because what else are we going to do, right? It was Valentine's Day yesterday. Another beautifully corporate event. But I like it. It's a nice medium holiday. It's a good holiday to teach my kids that not every holiday nets a whole smorgasbord of presents like Christmas or their birthday. We had a nice conversation, actually. That used to be those used to be the only two holidays that legit presents were offered. Otherwise, on Easter, it's some chocolates. Same on Valentine's Day with flowers. I had a good time. Spent it with my family. Didn't do. I mean, we're just hanging out around the house, enjoying our day off. Some Valentine's cards, some flowers. I got my wife a potted orchid because the cut flowers that were available in my area were just, I mean, like embarrassingly bad. Like I know the corporate overlords don't care. Like you get what you get, peasants. It's wilty and insect spotted and, Lord knows what else. Who cares? You want it? You want to be in trouble. Of course, I went to, acquire all of my Valentine's Day accoutrement at, like 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock on Friday night because I like to have surprises offered to the people that I love. And I don't want to hide things. Like how would you hide a potted orchid in February in this climate? But I got it because at least it won't die tomorrow. You can at least attempt to keep a potted plant alive for a period of time. 3 ice cubes in the pot a week to keep it alive, according to the little pamphlet that came included. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll report back next week because I know this is a breaking story that we're all very interested in. So I'll make sure to keep you updated. The real big news today is the government shutdown. Yes, we're shut down again this week. Who could have seen this coming? Of course, it's a partial shutdown. Because the two sides in our government don't care who they hurt to accomplish their political ends. Of course, the big sticking point in the budget now is DHS, Homeland Security, and ICE. And one of my favorites, Senator Kennedy, breaks it down for us here.
Mr. President, I want to spend a few minutes talking about a couple of different topics.
Gotta wipe his nose.
First,
quick.
I want to try to explain to the American people what's going on around here. Some people are going to try to tell you, American people, that what we're engaged in is a rational discussion of how to use scarce taxpayer dollars to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Now, that's not true. Wish it were. Department of Homeland Security is about to shut down. We don't know how to get it back open. What does that mean? It means ICE will be shut down. We've got some ideas about how to keep it operating. They have enough money. It means TSA will be shut down. They're not going to be paid. That'll impact airport travel. Coast Guard be shut down. FEMA, God help us if we have a natural disaster, it'll be shut down. What's about to happen is top of the list, king of the hill, number one, stupid. And it's happening just not because of policy. It's happening because of raw gut politics. If you could see what I see, your gag reflex would be permanently triggered. Here's what's going on. The Karen wing of the Democratic Party is in control of the Democratic Party. And the Karen wing of the Democratic Party, not all Democrats, but there's clearly a Karen wing. Sometimes I call them the loon wing. They have gone to the Minority Leader Jeffries and my friend Senator Schumer and said, don't you vote for that Homeland Security bill. Why? Because the Karen wing of the Democratic Party wants to defund ICE. Now, we've seen this vampire movie before. The Karen wing of the Democratic Party also wanted us to defund the police. How'd that work out for us? The criminals are still laughing. Now they want to defund ICE. And Senator Schumer and Minority Leader Jeffries, two good men, they've made a bunch of unreasonable demands that no person with a brain above a single-cell organism would vote for. It would put handcuffs on ICE. That's just a fact. And they know that. I'm not going to vote for them. Sure not going to vote for them with a gun to my head.
So we're shut down again, partially. The Department of Homeland Security is shut down again. And we will continue to play this game every time we have to create a new budget. Every time we have to fund the government. Until the people responsible for keeping the government open suffer some direct consequences for allowing the government to shut down. Will that happen? Well, no, it won't. Why? Because the people that should suffer the consequences will have to vote to create those consequences that they would then have to suffer. So they keep getting paid. They keep going to all of their fundraising dinners. They keep making calls to their rich friends to ask for donations to their re-election campaigns. And it will continue to be so until real change happens. Because somehow we have created a system for ourselves that allows the people that we've elected to represent us to ignore everything that we want, to drag their feet on accomplishing the things that we want them to accomplish. And to basically have no voice when they do things that we don't want them to do. Washington State, again, is attempting to create an income tax. Even though this an income tax in the state of Washington has been rejected 11 times, they keep trying. Now they say, oh, it's just a tax on millionaires. But when pressed, the state congressmen and senators won't commit to saying, no, it's actually, it won't eventually apply to people making $750,000 a year. It won't eventually apply to people making $500,000 a year. It won't eventually apply to everyone earning any kind of income in the state of Washington. eventually. Why? Because this is how politicians operate. We're just going to take this little bit of liberty away. We're just going to ignore you in this one little area. Don't worry. It's only on millionaires. And you fools that believe them will eventually find a Washington state income tax on your pay stub. Maybe not for 4 more years. Maybe not 8. Maybe not for 8 more years. But this is why they're doing it anyway, without your consent. Because they'll tell you, don't worry about it. You're overreacting. It's just a tax. It's just a 10% income tax on people that make over $1 million a year. Don't worry about it. You're overreacting. This isn't a big deal. We're just taxing people that can afford it. And finally, some action out of the Republicans I'm finally seeing. On social media, that some Republicans, probably the ones that are making over $1 million a year, right? Washington Policy writes on X, a state representative admitted the truth. You shouldn't trust us. They're openly saying they've lied about income tax and will continue to do so.
Larry Springer, another state representative, was asked, why should the business community trust you that you won't expand the thresholds to encompass more people and more business owners and more just average individuals? And his answer was very simple. It was 2 words. You shouldn't. You shouldn't trust us. So, I mean, they are being very clear that they are willing to lie about this, that they have lied, and they will continue to lie about the income tax. And again, that sounds so harsh, right? To say, oh, people don't like that. They're saying it, right? They're the ones who are saying, we lied and we will continue to lie, and you shouldn't trust us. So I think maybe, even though they lied, maybe that's what we should take their word at. Larry Springer.
There is a chance. There is hope. I mean, maybe someday enough people will realize that politicians, especially the ones on the left, will say whatever you need to hear to steal your vote away from you. That's what we're talking about here. They run their campaigns. They sit up on the debate stage. And they regurgitate all the popular focus group approved talking points that will trick stupid liberals into casting their vote for these people. And then what happens? Well, we talked about a few weeks ago what happens in Virginia. You think you're electing this moderate Democrat to do reasonable things, ultimately make the place that you live better for you and your family. But if this income tax does pass into law, it's likely to meet a lot of resistance in the courts. I asked Grok to give me a few reasons why. First, long-standing constitutional precedents. Washington's courts have repeatedly interpreted the state constitution, Article 7, to prohibit graduated income taxes, viewing them as property taxes that must be uniform, which a progressive rate on high earners would violate. Over 90 years of judicial precedent and 10 voter rejections of income tax proposals, most recently in 2010, support this. The current bill directly challenges that history. There are three other reasons. Prominently explicit expectations from supporters and observers. The bill's sponsor, Senate Majority Leader Jamie Pedersen, or Jamie Pederast, as I like to call him, has publicly stated that if passed, it would almost certainly face a state Supreme Court challenge and possibly a repeal effort. But they're doing it anyway. They don't care that we've rejected it 10 times, 11 times, technically. They don't care that it's unconstitutional. They're going to do it anyway. Because destruction is the ultimate goal. And making all of the millionaires and billionaires that live in this state feel like they need to move away and take their business with them is going to severely harm Washington the way it's harmed California. But because these are such depraved people that have somehow found their way into office, they're of the attitude that, well, I would rather burn it down and rule over the ashes than engage in fair politics, than listen to the voices of my fickle constituents who may eventually vote me out of office. I'll do what I can. I'll make the most influential people, the most able-bodied, the most sober-minded. I'll legislate to have them leave the state so that I don't have to worry about what they think. And then the only constituents I'll have left are the most radical and the most dependent. Why? Why would they operate like that? It shall be revealed. And when it does eventually, when this tax bill does eventually make its way into the court system, we will of course have to rely on judges. And that's not exactly reassuring, is it? I mean, not. When you find story after story, just like this one most recently, the headline from the Gateway Pundit reads, outrageous. Woke judge slashes jury's recommended sentence for violent sexual predator by more than half because of his skin color. As WHAS 11 reported on Friday, a Louisville jury on February 2nd decided to recommend that 24-year-old Christopher Thompson be sentenced to 65 years in prison for several crimes, including robbery, kidnapping, sodomy, and sexual abuse. The jury also convicted Thompson of additional charges due to his unhinged behavior in the courtroom. Back in December 2025, the jury found Thompson guilty of a series of violent sexual assaults against innocent women while stealing their money. Thompson was arrested back in January 2024 after DNA conclusively proved that he committed a horrific sexual crime and robbery against a female in July 2023. Per WHAS 11, here is what this monster did to this poor woman. You know what? We're not going to go into it. But Louisville Judge Tracy Davis decided that such a sentence was too harsh. They went through the trial. They went through the court process, the judicial process. And the jury said, 65 years, bud. It's over for you. We need to protect society from you. Disgusting travesty of a person. But Louisville Judge Tracy Davis decided that such a sentence was too harsh on this demon and thought he should get a break. She specifically referenced Thompson's race while implying that people like him have been treated unjustly in America. Quote, if you were to come in here and instead of being hurt and angry, which is what this court hears, right, as a 20-year-old African-American male that has, experienced this in society, Davis said, and you would say, yes, this is the situation, this is who it's more of the liberal leftist word salad. She continues, it's just a shame that you can't look at all of these things and say, as of today, February the 2nd, 2026, I want to be a different person. I want a better outcome. I want to be an asset to society. I don't want to watch the video. It's there. She then sentenced Thompson to 30 years behind bars, less than half the jury's recommended sentence. So he'll be 50 when he gets out instead of 80 or 85. Now, maybe that's enough. But I mean, what do you think? Tell me in the comments or send an email, therealearthvox@protonmail.com. I would like to know. You can also comment on any of my videos. But go to Rumble. You may find them everywhere. Seems racist to me. It's what the comments are saying. It's a racist judgment. Racist, racist, racist. Other people suggesting she's somehow related to the person. Makes me laugh even more the more I think about it. In other infuriating news, yeah, you're getting mad. You're getting mad today. Oh, no, don't do that. Just trying to manage my windows. This headline from the Post Millennial. Also, we're staying in Washington for probably obvious reasons. This headline, bill to prevent sex offender housing in Washington neighborhood blocked by Democrats. By Ari Hoffman. Efforts by Republican lawmakers in Washington to stop or tighten the placement of sexually violent predators in a Kennewick neighborhood suffered a major setback this week after Senate Democrats effectively halted the only bill to reach a committee hearing before a key legislative deadline, according to the Tri-County Herald. Senate Bill 6339, sponsored by Senator Nikki Torres of Pasco and Senator Matt Banky from Kennewick, would require less restrictive alternate housing placements to be owned and operated by the same entity responsible for supervising and providing treatment to SVPs released from McNeil Island. That's sexually violent predators, SVPs. The bill received a hearing on Wednesday in the Senate Human Services Committee. However, it is not expected to move forward after committee chair Senator Claire Wilson, Democrat from Auburn, said she would not advance the legislation, claiming during the hearing, quote, there is some conversation and communication that needs to occur. Basically, I'm just going to block it because I can. Who in their right mind would send sexually violent predators into suburban neighborhoods? The same Senator Wilson previously called South Hill rapist Kevin Coe a, quote, gentleman who did some, quote, not very nice things and, quote, caused a bit of a stir when he was released. SB 6339 was part of a broader package of 8 bills introduced in the House and Senate by Tri-Cities lawmakers in response to a proposed SVP transition home near the corner of 8th Avenue and Edison Street in Kennewick. The site is under review for housing up to 5 sexually violent predators, level 3 sex offenders, the highest risk classification, who have completed prison sentences, but were later civilly committed after being found likely to reoffend without secure confinement. Most SVPs in Washington are held at the Special Commitment Center on McNeil Island, a remote facility originally intended for the state's most dangerous sex offenders. But your locally elected leaders in the state of Washington say, nah, they're going to live next door. Oh, and by the way, walls don't work. And what do you need an AR-15 for? Make it make sense. Please, I'm online everywhere. I would love to hear from you. Follow me on X at earthvox. Send me a DM. I won't even be mad. Interestingly enough, as a little side note, I haven't gotten nearly as many phishing messages from bots on X as I usually do. To me, that's just a blatant example of the suppression that I'm feeling across the internet. But it's because I talk about things like this. The people that you voted for hate you and they want you to be harmed by sexually violent predators. And when the federal government steps in to try and help, what do? Do they stand aside? Do they stand aside and let the work be done? The work that you voted for? No. As evidenced in this article, also from the Post-Millennial, also by Ari Hoffman, Washington State correspondent, apparently. Headline: Seattle area city officials tell residents to call cops on ICE. Ari writes, after being accused of working with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, city officials in Linwood, Washington are reaffirming their commitment to inclusivity and transparency by encouraging residents to call 911 on suspected ICE activity. Mayor George Hurst and Chief of Police Cole Langdon wrote in a letter obtained by the Ari Hoffman Show on Talk Radio 570 KVI, quote, the city of Linwood is steadfast in its belief that our community members from across the world belong and are welcome. For weeks, we have witnessed the senseless acts of violence in Minneapolis against protesters who are standing up against the questionable removal of their neighbors at the hands of ICE and our federal government. So it goes. This is the liberal talking point. Do you need more information that you are not represented in your government? Do you need more proof? They're defying federal law. They're saying, no, they're here. We want them here. They don't get to choose. Unfortunately, it's federal law. And now 911 will be plugged with calls on ICE. I mean, there's a limited number of people. There's going to be a massive ICE operation. And there's going to be just as much a need for real emergency services. People are going to get hurt. People that really rely on the 911 system won't get the help they need because Seattle officials are telling residents to call 911 on ICE agents. Now, I want to take you through this Reddit post that I found that sort of fits the occasion, but bear with me. It's posted in the conspiracy subreddit. And it reads as follows. The world as we knew it is over. Just give up. I'm not anyone important, the body of text reads. I'm a blue collar dad. I work, I pay. I'm assuming he meant to write, I pay taxes. I try not to screw up my kids. I take pride in being a good husband, a good father, a good friend. That's it. No followers, no power, just a regular guy. Last night I was putting my kids to bed, and that thought hit me. The one every parent gets sooner or later. How do I make the world better for them? For a second, I thought maybe I could actually do something, speak up, start something, push back. Then I thought about the last 25 years. Y2K panic, 9/11, wars that never ended, banks crashing and getting rescued while regular people got lectures, housing turning into a joke, wages stuck in the same damn place, pandemics, inflation, scandal after scandal after scandal. Every time we're told this one is different, every time we're told now people will be held accountable, and now Epstein. Everyone knows, everyone saw it. And just like always, nothing happens because nothing ever does. Not even Greta Thunberg, a little girl with Asperger's, could make a real change. There will never be another revolutionist. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. The text continues. This system isn't broken. It's working exactly how it was designed, just not for people like me. The rules didn't disappear. They just stopped applying evenly. We're told your vote matters, your rights matter. Be patient, stay hopeful, stay calm. Funny how the people telling us that are extremely rich and have nothing to actually worry about. So here's the real conspiracy. Maybe the lie isn't that a handful of powerful people run everything. Maybe the lie is that regular people are still supposed to believe they can fix it by playing along. Maybe the end doesn't come with explosions. Maybe it comes when people are just tired. So yeah, maybe the world as we knew it is over. If that's true, then I'm done letting it steal every ounce of my attention. I'll put it where it actually matters. My kids, my family, my friends, real life right in front of me. And if that idea makes someone at the top uncomfortable, good. And I downvoted this post. Because it is complete and utter globalist propagandic bullshit. And even worse, it's not written by a real person. You can go through the comments. Yep. AI. Created by AI. Written by AI. Posted to the Reddit website, to this conspiracy subreddit. And then bot brigaded to earn over 1,000 upvotes. And no doubt, comments from more bots. To make it seem like this is a popular idea. And if you're watching the video, you can see here, I've scrolled down to the comment that reads, "It's interesting how many posts and comments are showing up like this lately. They're attempting to push the doom and gloom narrative so you remain a cog in the machine. Not only that, but this is AI. And notice how many upvotes it has compared to other posts. Bots are upvoting and commenting to support their narrative to give up. Yes, just give up. Slip into the warm, dark waters and accept your fate. Accept that the elections are stolen and that your politicians will never represent you. In response, I offer you this post, also on X, that I found to be very heartening if not a little bit nerve-wracking. Posted by Archaeo Histories at histories_arch on X. Writes a few paragraphs. In 1946, a local election in Tennessee was run by corrupt politicians who used deputies to arrest voters and hide the ballots in the jail. World War II veterans, newly home and fed up, picked up rifles and surrounded the jail until the officials inside surrendered. A moment from what became known as the Battle of Athens, a rare armed uprising on American soil sparked not by foreign war, but by local corruption. The scene unfolded in McMinn County, Tennessee, where a political machine led by Sheriff Paul Cantrell had controlled elections for years through intimidation, ballot stuffing, and the arrest of political opponents. On Election Day in 1946, deputies openly detained voters and seized ballot boxes, locking them inside the county jail. Many of the men watching this unfold were World War II veterans who had recently returned home after fighting authoritarianism overseas. Having risked their lives for democratic principles, they were unwilling to tolerate the same abuses in their own community. As tensions escalated, veterans gathered rifles and ammunition and surrounded the jail where the ballots were held. After a prolonged standoff that included gunfire and the use of dynamite to breach the jail walls, the deputies inside surrendered. When the ballots were finally recovered and counted, the corrupt officials were voted out of office. The uprising led to sweeping reforms in local law enforcement and became a lasting symbol of citizen resistance to electoral corruption in the United States. The veterans involved later organized reform governments, and many of them went on to serve as local officials, ensuring that McMinn County elections were monitored and fair for decades afterwards. This was a county election. And these citizens, these World War II veterans, were so outraged that they took up arms and went to war with their own local governments over a county election. Where is that sentiment now? Where is the outrage? Where is the action-inducing outrage? The evidence comes out week after week. We talked about Fulton County. We talked about the raids with warrants issued by judges based on criminal investigations. Where's the outrage? Criminality was discovered and raids were carried out. The same thing is happening now in Maricopa County, Arizona. This judge from Kentucky that released a wildly violent and deranged criminal, well, didn't release, cut his sentence in half. She was elected in 2022. Was that a safe and secure election? How can we know? When we ask, people go to jail. Records are destroyed. Lives are ruined. Where is the outrage? Where is the action? Where are the people that give a damn whether or not their voice matters? Well, they're out there. Like me, they're shunned and suppressed and dismissed. This is why we must have the SAVE Act. Well, what is the SAVE Act? I got the bullet points right here for you. The SAVE Act, which is a coined term. It's the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, is a proposed bill that amends the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. Based on official summaries, here are the key provisions. The key provisions. Requires documentary proof of U.S. citizenship for an individual to register to vote in federal elections. Prohibits states from accepting or processing a voter registration application for federal elections unless the applicant provides such proof at the time of application. It prohibits states from registering anyone to vote in federal elections, which without this proof provided during the registration process. And it defines acceptable documentary proof of U.S. citizenship to include a real ID, a valid U.S. passport, a U.S. military ID plus military service record showing U.S. birthplace, certain government-issued photo IDs showing U.S. birthplace, other government-issued photo IDs combined with documents like a certified birth certificate with specific requirements, including name, date and place of birth, parents' names, seal, etc., naturalization certificate, or similar evidence. It requires states to establish an alternative process for applicants to submit other evidence demonstrating U.S. citizenship if needed, and mandates states to take ongoing steps to ensure only U.S. citizens remain registered, including programs to identify non-citizens using data from specified sources. This bill applies to new registrations and updates affecting federal elections only. The blue states will fight this. Some will fight it only because it's the Trump administration. Others will fight it because they're benefiting from illegal elections. If you don't think proving you're a legal voter is important, you're either a moron or you know that the illegal voting that is taking place benefits your side. I mean, what other hypotheses are there? Let me know. What's the reason that you support voter ID or don't support voter ID? I'm racking my brain to think of any reason. Okay, it's going to be a little bit inconvenient. This is what happens when the administration that you allegedly elected in 2020 lets 20 million illegal immigrants into the country and then encourages them to vote. I just saw a video from Jenna Griswold this morning. I wonder if I can find it. Come on. Basically, someone was just throwing in her face all of the inappropriate things that took place in the election in 2022. Here it is.
A final question. This is not the first time that your office has made mistakes that have damaged voters' confidence in our elections. In 2022, your office sent out mailers to 30,000 non-citizens inviting them to register to vote. They, of course, are not eligible to register to vote. That same year, your office used Colorado's ballot tracking system to send messages to specific Coloradans encouraging them to vote when, in fact, they had already voted, causing confusion that had to be cleaned up by the county clerks. And now this leak of the voting system passwords. Given your office's repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
What do you think she says? Let's look it up on Kalshi. Any prediction markets? I'm in stitches.
Absolutely not, Kyle.
Ho ho! Shocker. Why? Because she's got her power. She got her power illicitly. And what we think about that really doesn't matter. Because she has nothing to fear from you, lowly voter, lowly American. So are we going to get the SAVE Act? It's, well, gosh. I will say that I am cautiously optimistic. But there's some things we got to do. It's already gone through the House. It's passed the House of Representatives because, of course, we have a Republican majority in the House of Representatives. And it passed 217 to 213 with all Republicans voting in favor and one Democrat. 213 Democrats voting against systems to ensure that only American citizens are voting in American elections. Unfortunately, even if we get the SAVE Act, we still have to deal with state and local elections that may or may not have citizenship requirements or even proof of identity requirements. And John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, is not inspiring a lot of confidence in his public statements that he makes about the SAVE Act. Even though now he's facing tremendous pressure because 50 senators have signed on to co-sponsor this bill in the Senate. And not only that, but like 80% of the country supports the verity of citizenship. Like 70% of Democrats, 80% of Republicans. Let me see if I can find a breakdown for you. I'm sure it's here. It's been in my feed all week. 73% here, 80% here. Massive. I mean, it's the definition of an 80-20 issue. They talk about 80-20 issues where 80% support the issue and 20% don't support it. Gunther Eagleman shares on X. A CNN panelist just dropped a fact check on voter integrity. The SAVE Act is a great idea. 83% of Americans support it, including 76% of Black Americans, 82% of Latinos, and 85% of whites. John Thune is a failure. And it is post after post showing the support. Unfortunately, you have to find it on X. Because, well, let's see. We'll do it together. Let's fact check me live. What do we got on the front page of Fox News? And why is it so weird and small? No, let's see. We got Hillary Clinton slamming Trump on the international stage. Something about the star of the movie Silence of the Lambs. A Democrat auditor discovered Democrat Party guilty of $12 million in welfare fraud. And then Guthrie, of course, Savannah Guthrie and Nancy Guthrie and the whole kidnapping saga has only really been uncovered on this program because, or gone uncovered on this program because nothing's happening. There's a ransom note. Oh, but it's fake. There's this person. Oh, but no, it's not really him. There's this other person. Oh, it's not really actually him either. We've got these people in custody. Oh no, we had to let them go because they got a solid solid alibi. Six more headlines. What do you think? Is it in there? Got Marco Rubio. Super Bowl. Something about Deion Sanders. Wall Street. TPUSA high school event. A beach rush. Oh, that's what we call sponsored content. And a 150-year-old bottle of alcohol found in Utah. The horror. Nothing about the SAVE Act. How far do you think we got to scroll to find something? Next 6 headlines. Is it there? No. Next 6 headlines. Is it there? No. Is it in the next 6? No. Is it in the next 6? No. All right. Are you bored yet? Why isn't it there? Oh, that's why. Because the billionaires that run Fox News and MSNBC and CNN, well, they're the ones paying to get these scumbags elected to office. They don't want a mandate. They don't want the outcome of elections to suddenly go to the people. What, are you crazy? So we got to call John Thune. We got to call John Thune, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now because I want you to do it. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to ask you to do something that I wouldn't do. And honestly, this isn't something that I've done before. We're going to call John Thune right now. And I'm just going to show you. It's going to take you to voicemail. It's not scary. You can leave him a message. Maybe, should I leave him a message? Oh, I'm not prepared. I haven't prepared anything. 202-224-2321. Nope, that's not right. 2321. Let me just double check. This is John Thune's office in Washington, D.C. 202-224-2321. What do you think is going to happen at noon on a Sunday?
Hi, this is Senator John Thune. Thank you for calling my office. If you would like to leave me a message, please press 1. If you would like to hear general information about office locations and services, please press 2. If you'd like to speak to a member of my staff, please press 3. Hi, this is Senator John Thune. Please leave a detailed message containing your name, address, and phone number or email address where we can reach you. I appreciate you calling. We will get back to you as soon as possible.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hey, John, this is Ryan, host of the earthvox podcast. It's national. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm calling to express my support of the SAVE Act that is necessary to secure American elections. Stop beating around the bush and get it done, please, sir. Thank you. See, wasn't that easy? And a little bit scary. There, I did it. You can do it too. Is it going to have an impact? Maybe, maybe not. But it's something that you can do to have an impact, to make an effort. And if you want to go one step further, make a call to Anna Paulina Luna, because she is a massive, fervent supporter of the SAVE Act. She's a representative from Florida in the House of Representatives. And I have this post on X. Breaking, Rep. Anna Paulina Luna just went full war mode, threatening to hold up the entire government funding bills in a procedural vote unless GOP leadership attaches the SAVE Act to the rule package. Now, this is a little bit outdated, and I believe this ship has sailed. Let's watch the video.
Things could get pretty messy here on the Hill today, as House Republicans may have to advance this package of government spending bills without any help from Democrats whatsoever. Now, the first thing that House Republicans have to do is pass a complicated procedural vote known as a rule. That has to pass in order to get an actual vote on these funding bills on the House floor. Now, that procedural vote is going to be a whole lot easier said than done. Not only will Democrats not vote for it, but Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is threatening to hold the whole process up if the voter ID bill known as the SAVE Act isn't attached to the spending bills. Still, though, Speaker Johnson is confident it'll all get worked out.
So if you're feeling feisty, reach out to Anna Paulina Luna and tell her how much you appreciate her going to war on this issue for us by attaching the SAVE Act to bills that these other scumbags really want. I've heard the latest is FISA. That's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act that everyone behind the scenes, all the deep state scum, all want that passed. She's doing the Lord's work. She's doing the things that all of these other scumbags do to ram through legislation that none of us asked for. How unfortunate that in this case, we have this SAVE Act with 80% support from the population that can't get done because the politicians represent billionaires and not the people that allegedly voted for them. Oh, here it is right here. The latest from Anna Paulina Luna.
This is really 100% on Leader Thune. I know for a fact the American people have told their senators what they want, both the Democrats and Republicans. I think the number for Democrats is over 71%. Even Fetterman came out in support of this, which we know that Fetterman might not align with us all the time, but on this issue, he's pretty good and here's what his own people want. And so, again, this is something that the Senate is going to have to act on. But look, I'm not going to hold my breath. If I did, I'd probably pass out before the Senate decided to actually do something. And so what I'm anticipating is if they don't do the right thing, we're going to have to stick it on FISA. FISA's must pass. That's the only way we're going to get it done, but we will get it done. And it's good that Speaker Johnson is on the same page on this issue, as well as the president so vocally supporting it.
Really quickly, I've heard a lot of talk about this talking filibuster. Okay, and I don't even know if Thune's going to do it. Could it possibly, real quick, could it possibly backfire if you gave the Democrats a stage like that to do a big, heroic talking filibuster? What do you think about that?
I think the one thing I'm finding out about Senate is they're notoriously lazy, which is why they move so slow. And so, I mean, eventually they'll probably run out of life force in an effort to do that. But, again, voter ID is one of the most important issues in the world. So even if, you give them a platform, I don't care. I want it signed into law. And I think that if that's the way that you have to do it, then so be it.
Call her and tell her how much we appreciate what she's doing. Her number, 202-225-5961. I was thinking about doing that also live on this show, but we already did that once. I mean, it's not good content. Do the same thing for a different person. But it's no less important, content aside. If you don't want to call John Thune and tell him what a puss he is for not getting this SAVE Act passed into law, then call Anna Paulina Luna and tell her how much you appreciate what she is doing to make this happen. You think it's fun for her? With all of the massive pushback, all the systems designed to stop this kind of thing from happening. I just heard a candidate for Congress on Timcast IRL, one of Tim Pool's products, talking about how the National Republicans in Congress Committee or Coalition made him change his name on the ballot, which is going to massively impact how people know him, because he's the ShamWow guy. And the NRCC, National Republican Congressional Committee, is meddling in that election. Why? Oh, because he's a representative of the people and not a representative of the billionaires. And these are the kind of things that we're up against. This is why I ask you to get active. So call your senators, call your congressmen, but also follow me on X at earthvox. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you like listening to audio podcasts throughout your day. And follow me on Rumble. I'm kind of done with YouTube and Twitch. This last round of technical difficulties with Riverside have resolved me to change the way I do things. I am going to do that. That means we may not have a streaming show next week, but there will always be an audio show. So thank you for finding that. Thank you for subscribing to that. Thank you for leaving me a 5-star rate and review. It helps me more than you know. I mean, maybe I need to tell you again. It's a massive boost to the visibility of this show when you go online and leave me a comment and give me a like and share it around. So please, 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 I rely on your help to keep this show going. The email address is therealearthvox@protonmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And always, if you're brave enough, leave me a voicemail at 701-787-1121. I'll be back.